Everyone take out your textbooks.
Everyone open your textbooks to page 115.
Actually, it's page 10, but...
I don't know why I said
394.
I just said a number.
Yeah. So
wait, what is on page 115?
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Nintendo and Dark Horse released a new Zelda book similar to Hyrule Historia. This is the Zelda Encyclopedia, and it has
shiny.
a lot. It is very shiny. It looks very, very nice.
Oh, you can see that red light from my microphone.
It looks
like a laser.
Wow.
It's like a guardian laser aiming at you.
So I think it actually looks a lot better than the actual limited edition or the collector's edition.
Does it?
Yeah, because the limited edition is designed to look like the NES cards.
Oh, I mean that's cool too.
Oh yeah.
But I think the style of that looks a lot better.
It matches the other books.
Yeah,
and it does match. I wouldn't want it to not match the other books.
Yeah, so there's a lot of new, cool, awesome information there. But the most important is what, Daniel?
Link from Ocarina of Time, and this is Link. This is Zelda from Twilight Princess. And this is Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time. So that's confusing. Sorry.
That's the most important tidbit of information.
The important part, everybody.
All right. Next news segment, everybody.
Sorry.
Podcast over.
The timeline, I guess, is what we were going to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what? That's the next part.
What?
No.
Oh,
Isn't
okay,
it?
never mind. Okay, no, you're good.
I don't know how to read.
Nope, you're good.
I mean, no, I do know how to read. I mean, I do know how to read.
Jesse's like, what is happening?
I just crumbled Daniel.
You broke him.
Oh no. Oh
She
no.
did that to me earlier with her sock.
We need
Okay.
we need a new Daniel. Someone get Rick.
Get Rick.
Hurry.
Oh, Jesse's gone.
He put his hand over the camera.
Why is this happening?
Oh, that white balance got a little funny there.
All right, tell
Okay,
us about the
so
timeline.
the
Daniel.
timeline. It's the same. No, there's a slight change here. So
Yes, there is.
How?
before it was said in Hyrule Historia, in the Downfall timeline, that it goes
Oh.
Link to the Past, Oracle Games, and Link's Awakening. Oh, thanks for the visual. Ilya.
Previously,
Visual
it was
Ilya.
this.
So, previously, that's what it said. Basically being that A Link to the Past ends, Link goes on adventures in Holodrum and Labrina.
Yeah.
And then he goes off sailing, which makes sense because you actually see that at the end of the Oracle games. He goes sailing, and Zelda 2... No, Zelda 2 is not next. It's a few games later. Link's Awakening starts. So that was the OG timeline in Hyrule Historia. According to this here book, that's not the case. So it's Zelda, A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, and then the Oracle games. But it does explicitly say on not this page, but on another page, that this still is the same Link. And I think there was, what was it? A different book.
Yeah.
What was it that had come up between these two that had said that the Oracle games were their own Link? And I was like, I don't buy it. I'm an angry nerd.
So
but now I'm happy.
Yeah,
So-
the author of the book pretty much said, whether it was Nintendo giving them information or whatever, that it was A Link to the Past. Okay, so originally it was A Link to the Past, the Oracle games, and Link's Awakening. It was all the same Link.
True.
And then it turned to A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, and then the Oracle games had a completely separate Link. And now they changed it back to where it's all the same Link, but the position of the games are still there.
Yes.
This is similar to what occurred a few years ago, where Triforce Heroes released, and Nintendo said that it was its own original Link taking place on an adventure that was separate from the other games. It even looked like a different Link from the one in A Link Between Worlds.
Because it's Toon Link.
Yeah, and then a couple of weeks later, someone, I forgot who, said that no, it doesn't take place on its own. It's not a new Link. It's actually the exact same Link as A Link Between Worlds, and it takes place directly after A Link Between Worlds. So it seems when Triforce Heroes released, Nintendo didn't even know what to do with it, and then they just decided a couple of weeks later, like, hey, let's just make it a sequel to the last game we released.
They do that, guys. They don't plan like that.
Some of them.
So it's page 19 that says that it's the same Link as A Link to the Past.
Yeah. So
Can't get it that close.
Is Breath of the Wild anywhere on there by chance?
Breath of the Wild is not in this book anywhere.
Yeah. Nope.
Even though it's blue, which is like makes me think of Breath of the Wild.
Well, that's why they have Masterworks or Becoming a Champion coming out. So,
but that's it. I would, if we were sponsored by them or not, I would still. We're not sponsored by them. No. I would still recommend you buy this book and give it the old read.
Yeah, that would have been an email that I would need to send out like 8 months ago to get a book.
And there was a good little note on the bottom of page 10, which I think kind of sums up.
Yeah, that was another
how to view the timeline, as always.
Why don't you read that note, Ilya?
Yeah.
Okay.
What does it say?
Well, the first part says, attentive readers may note that the timeline shown here differs slightly from the one found in Hyrule Historia. We just covered that. But then right after that it says, the timeline can be interpreted in a number of ways and may change depending on new discoveries that have come to light and on players' imaginations. And I'm like, that's literally the catalyst of what... As much as I want it to be concrete...
Yeah, so before it was the official timeline, now it's just an idea of the timeline.
Yeah. I still think...
I think it kind of
the
makes
change
sense.
is good. Like, I'm still on board. I've always been sold on the idea of that Link being the poor guy having 4 games, so many adventures.
It would have been 5.
It would have? Oh, if the third
the
Oracle
2
game had
and
come
3.
to fruition. Especially... just like it makes sense with the ending of the Oracle games and where he goes off on a little raft or whatever. It just kind of all leads into Link's Awakening really well, but I mean, this is still good. I still think it's pretty concrete, especially because the Triforce is whole in the Oracle games, which it was reformed in A Link to the Past backstory / at the end of the game. So I feel like that's pretty solid evidence, but I still buy more into the Hyrule Historia version with the Oracle games between Link's Awakening and Zelda, and A Link to the Past rather than after. But
yeah,
that's just Daniel, everybody. So
yeah, I just like that.
The real mystery is where's Kayla.
Yeah, I like that in this book. They like right beneath the timeline, they state that anyone can have their own interpretation of it. I think Hyrule Historia said that, but it was like at the very end of the book, and it didn't necessarily mean the timeline. Just everything in the book could be.
Yeah, that was in the like intro in the book.
Okay,
it was like a little passage by Onuma, basically giving that.
Oh, I think I remember this.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the timeline in Hyrule Historia was formed not by Nintendo, but by that writer's own interpretation. Like, whoever the main writer-editor was for the book is who came up with the timeline.
He was a splitist instead of a linearist.
Like, if it was someone else... if it was written by someone else, then the official timeline could be completely different, so...
Oh, Kayla's back.
Yeah.
Kayla, we talked about a lot of stuff.
She's
you got a lot of catching up to do.
She's mooted.
Sorry, I was really cold.
Oh yeah?
Not allowed. You're only outside in the evening.
This is true.
Where it's windy.
See, if
I'll
I went
catch up.
outside right
Canada.
now, I would get mobbed by mosquitoes
Yeah.
and palmetto bugs, which are roaches on steroids that can fly.
Ugh.
All right. We
That's
will
the
be.
worst thing I've ever heard of.
So, Daniel
Welcome to my world.
will be telling us all about Breath of the Wild's messed up timeline here in a bit, but we need to get to our next piece of news.
I was gonna say, oh my gosh, I was gone for so long that you guys got through the next piece of news.
Yes, we already.
No, not without you, not this one.
No. Oh no. Yes, the piece of news is that IGN.com has a great little picture of Mark Hamill on the sidebar in this ad. It says,
Oh
Mark
yeah,
Hamill.
I see that too.
Yeah, that's the big news, everybody. You should go
Ooh,
look at
nah.
that. He's a very handsome young man.
Oh,
you know,
beautiful.
80s, of course,
Alright,
but
so
he looks good with a beard too.
My ideal man.
That's it. Thanks, everyone,
Daniel.
for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
So Daniel and I, we already did one. So Ilya or Kayla, would either of you like to begin this? We can alternate between the actual quotes. So like Daniel could take like Metroid, Kayla could take Aminal Crossing.
And
So-
Aminal.
Yeah,
Aminal.
But
Aminal.
Ilya, would you like to start out? Do you know how to do it? Are
Do
you
know
aware?
how to read?
Do you
What do
know?
you mean I'm aware? I've read some of the
you
stuff before.
Okay,
read
okay.
things?
You don't need to know how to do anything. I don't know what I'm doing like 100% of the time.
Which one are you
I
wanting
still
to
just say
read?
nonsense, and he just
so
keeps bringing me back every week.
You'll start out with this piece of news comes from IGN, where Nintendo talks about
Well-
the 6 big Switch games, and then you
Well, like, which one am I talking about, though?
just do the intro, and then Daniel will do the Metroid Prime for
Okay,
Pokemon.
because I was
thing.
like,
Yeah,
the
we'll
only
just-
game I know on here is Animal Crossing. So cool.
Yeah, so just like
Aminal
I can
Crossing.
do that.
so you'll just say like what the website is to give credit to them,
Yep.
and then what the title is, what it's about. If there's a short
And-
paragraph, you can usually just read that, or yeah, or you
Yeah, 'cause
could
I
like
think that's
make
what I
up.
did
will
last
edit
time I
this.
read news.
Part out.
So.
Yeah,
So-
this actually I stopped editing them out because I find these parts fun. So
Meh.
because I like when things like get off topic in the podcasts that I listen to. That way, you know the people you're listening to aren't just robots. It actually
Wait, but I am a
shows.
robot.
It actually shows their
Are you
personalities.
sure I'm not a robot?
So
I'm not a robot.
what I've been doing is putting these parts at the very end of. So like this part would be at the end of the previous. So people who watched all the way through could be rewarded with
Oh.
our actual
Here's your reward.
personality. Yeah.
Gorsh.
So Ilya.
Great reward.
Yes. Okay.
And this also
So
works
this-
out because Ilya is one of the few, like Kayla slightly, but Daniel really bad. There's a delay, so
I'll fix it.
Oh.
Oh,
Again,
we good?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.